Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we've got ourselves a retro review of something I just recently picked up, and that is one of my grail pieces, and that is this Series 1 version Goku Dragon Ball figure by Irwin Toys. This one is kind of an odd figure. Now, if you are of my age group and you were around when these first dropped, these released right around 99, 98. This one right here, even though it says Series 1 right there at the bottom, the original Series 1 figures actually had no purple border around the edge, just kind of rainbowy color. Instead, they were just a solid green. These were actually put out several sets later as kind of like re-releases, but were still pretty hard to find. In fact, if you actually go on eBay and try to find a Series 1 Irwin Goku, more than likely you'll see listings for the ones that are just the solid green border regular first Series 1 version, not this reprint one. And this one in particular I really had to have, because of all the versions I had of these figures, I did have the original Series 1 set. That set when it came out was mind-blowing for me. But I do specifically remember this one because of the pink label on it, and of course the kind of rainbowy purple border on it. I thought it looked really great, really cool aesthetic. The Goku figure itself is really cool, excuse me, especially considering its time period. You know, you had the top that would clip together around the figure, and then of course you could put your own sticker decals on the shirt as well, which was really nice. Excuse me. And then here, kind of like I said, this came out several sets later after the series initially released. And of course it shows Series 1, 2, 3, and 4, while the original Series 1 figure had 14 figures listed on the back of the card, which were the majority of these figures, but it didn't have them listed by set, it just had them previewed on the package. And as you can see, you had really great figures like the Frieza, both versions of Vegeta, both regular and Super Saiyan, same with Goku. The Trunks is also another one of my favorites. The Broly, which is really cool, and of course around Series 2 they actually started changing the hair scheme on the Super Saiyan figures, and if you notice, started making it gold. Hopefully it's not too blurry, but you can see on the Gohan and the Goku, as well as the Broly, and even down here with Super Saiyan Trunks and Super Saiyan Gohan, the hair is gold compared to the yellow. And of course in Series 4, they re-released both the Goku and the Super Saiyan Goku from the original Series 1 set. And it did say Series 4 on the bottom of the card right there. Now, the funny thing about these figures is even though they are made by Irwin, Irwin had the license for the Dragon Ball toys for a number of years. But most of these figures, at least for the first, probably I'd say 5 to 7 sets, maybe even more, were actually based on a Japanese Dragon Ball figure set called Super Battle Collection. They were literally the same figures. The plastic quality might have been a little bit different. And of course, I've got a few examples of some of those with me that are loose that I have in my personal collection. So first off, you would have weird pieces like, so with Goten, they had Super Saiyan Goten. You would have the gold hair version and the blonde hair version. Both of these have the same, very similar plastic to them. The only movable joints to have in them are the arms, the legs, and the ankles. No posability there at all. But the skin tone is slightly different. And of course, the hair color is different. And then this one right here is actually one of the Japanese ones, with the much paler skin tone, and of course the blonde hair. Obviously, you would also run into a lot of issues on these particular figures, where when you would go to, like, back in that time period, when you'd go to, like, flea markets, and you would find, like basically bootlegs, ripoffs, in package, that are manufactured from, like, Mexico and China. And of course, those are real bad quality. And this is one of them. This is supposed to be a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And you can see all the screw holes on the back of them. Very bad quality. You even got the little China stamp right there. But I mean, you thump it, and you can hear how hollow the plastic is. Like, it's not thick at all. The Goten, that's a solid, thick piece of plastic. While the Goku, I mean, it is hollow. Very, very poor quality. Almost, the arms move, but that's it. I mean, it's just, I mean, I guess if you really want to have this figure in your collection and not have to pay the premium of getting the Super Saiyan 3 Goku from the Super Battle Collection that had multiple heads and everything else, I guess that's one way to do it. But these bootlegs are very, very awful quality. I mean, there is nothing in there. They suck, period. Then you'd also have other bootlegs like this Cell. This one, I believe, is a Mexico release, I believe, because I don't even see the China stamp on there anywhere, not even on the feet. And this thing is like a damn dog toy. Thick, hard as hell. The arms move, but that's it. But the paint job on it is, like on his face especially, is real bad. Skin did not, the Japanese or even the Irwin version of Cell did not have that skin tone. So that's pretty interesting, but this is basically an example of a Mexico bootleg for Cell. There's also this bootleg version. This one, I think, is also another one of the ones from Mexico, and that is the Great Saiyaman. Again, the face is not great. Same posability, the arms, and that's about it. Thing is hard as hell, dog toy basically. I mean, it's not rubbery like an LJN wrestling figure, but it's pretty close. The paint on it's just not great. I mean, don't wrong. I mean, it's still kind of cool to have bootlegs like these just because they're so unique and interesting. But there's like no kind of copyright stamp or anything on these. So these are pretty easy to tell. So if you ever see loose Dragonball figures, you know, in the wild at like a flea market or thrift store or something, usually you could find some kind of marker on the bottom of the feet. And if not there, it's usually either going to be on the back of the thigh or it's going to be somewhere around the back of the shoulder area. But that is another example of a basically a repro bootleg version of one of these Dragon Ball figures. Now this one right here, this is a Gohan. And I think this one actually gives me my answer. So the Mexico ones seem to be very thick and very hard as far as like the plastic they use for them with bad paint quality, while the Chinese ones are thin as hell. I mean, both of these things are hollower than hell. This is the Gohan. Same problem with it. Got the damn screw showing all the way down the back of it. So really, from the front, it's an okay looking figure. Obviously, the face sucks. Like it does. There's just no way around it. It sucks. But I guess if you're gonna have things like this for display, it's okay. But yeah, once you show off that back, it's just a big woof with all those damn screws showing. I hate that. I mean, at least even on the the Mexico versions, screw holes are there, but they're not quite as like shiny and stand out. Like it's not as obvious. While these hollow plastic ones from China, just big shiny silver screws, just killing it. But then again, same with these. Even the whether it's a Mexico version or China version, the bootleg ones were also based off of the Super Battle Collection figures. More or less the same design, just not as good quality as far as the pressing on the face detail and everything else. Let's see. Okay, this one. Okay, so this one is a Super Battle Collection version of the Super Saiyan Trunks. I don't have the armor for him. As you can see, all of the holes and spots where there would be screws are basically patched up, except for the back of the hair. Which I believe there was a ponytail there at one point. You can literally see, I don't know how well the camera will catch it, but there's like patches here, here, and here where the screw holes go. So essentially think the same hard plastic that was used for the Mexico versions, except better job on the face. Obviously, these are the these are the Japanese Super Battle Collection ones that are, you know, licensed, authorized, the whole nine. So these are fine. Not really going to have too many quality issues, especially considering, you know, the time period that these are made in. But decent enough figures. I wish I had the armor for this trunk, so I think it looks great with the armor on it. But the Super Battle Collection ones, like I said, look a lot like the Mexico versions as far as the quality of the rubber and the plastic. But they do have, obviously, the quality control with patching up the holes in the back of them. So they don't look too brutal, but still pretty nice figures. And then you've also got, and here's one more Mexico one. This is the Super Saiyan Gohan, and it looks just like the one that was made both for Battle Collection and for Irwin Toys. Just hollow as hell and screw showing. And surprisingly, out of all the ones I have that are from China, excuse me, this one's a China one, not a Mexico one. This one's got all the screws showing. Out of all the ones I have that are bootlegs, this one's probably the nicest one. And it's probably the closest to being accurate for what was actually made. And then the last loose one that I have to kind of show you guys is, so Irwin, like I said, had the line license for a long time here in the States. And this is one of the later sets version of Piccolo. The Piccolo from the earlier sets of the Irwin toys looked a lot like that one right there. Had a straight cape, not a lot of posability or anything crazy to it. While this one, I mean, a lot more detail in terms of, like, you know, the cape flapping in the wind, the detail on the skin and on the face. They did do a lot of improvements to the Dragon Ball line the longer they had the license. So Irwin did do a lot of good things with it. And then later on, Jakks ended up taking over the license for Dragon Ball. And some of those Jakks figures are absolutely impossible to find. And if you do find them, the price point for them is absolutely insane. And really, even for any of the Irwin stuff, if you find it mint on card, you're still talking a pretty penny. Even Series 1 figures with the original green border on it, depending on which one it is, you know, they can still go anywhere between 50 to 75 a piece if they're in really good shape. And like I said, but this one right here, this one really holds a special place for me because you just don't see the Series 1 reprints with the purple border at all, and let alone to find it in a pretty good shape. Like, I wouldn't call it perfect, obviously. There's some warping to the card, but you're talking a 21-year-old or 22-year-old figure. For it to still be in this good a shape with no sun damage or anything of that nature, pretty fantastic. So, a lot of time for this figure. I'm more than happy to add it to my collection because I don't know if I'll plan to getting... I don't think I'll go crazy, and I don't think I'll try to hunt down every figure from the Series 1 re-release set or not, because I know that this one was hard enough to find, and really I just found it by circumstance. Happened to see some guy post a picture of it at a toy shop in a faraway city that my brother happens to live in, and he went by there, and sure enough, they still had it. So it was definitely kind of figure fate situation that I found it, but I'm absolutely in love with this figure. One more close-up shot of it again. Like I said, I know that when you compare them to today's Dragon Ball figures, especially like the Dragon Ball Evolve or like SH Figuarts, nowhere near close in quality. But when you, if you were around when these first came out and you had these as a kid, these have a very special place in your heart. And it's really, really damn cool to add this particular figure. And there's one more shot of the back again of the other sets. And like I said, these are literally reprints of the Super Battle Collection figures from Japan, which actually I really like those figures if you've ever seen them. They come in boxes that, I mean, it's not a carded bubble like this. They are actually in boxes that have a window on them and have real beautiful designs to them. They look awesome. They're honestly starting to get pretty hard to find because I think those were from 95 or 96, maybe a little bit sooner. But awesome figures. Go on eBay, check it out. Just type in Dragon Ball Super Battle Collection figure, and you'll kind of see some listed there. And it's pretty incredible just to see some of those figures still in box. Because as old as this Irwin figure is, those are even older, and it's just kind of mind-blowing. But yeah, So, retro review, Dragon Ball by Irwin Toys, Series 1 reprint, Goku figure. If you don't know anything about these figures, do some more research, do your due diligence before you start buying into them, because there are a lot of bootlegs. I recommend if you're going to try to get into Irwin figures, try to get them on card, even if they're crappy cards and you want to open them. That way you make sure you get the authentic figures rather than, picking up a bootlegs. I know some of them are pretty easy to tell, but some of them look pretty good too. So just be wary of that. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you for checking it out. Remember to follow me over on Instagram at CollectingRaj. And also don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And if you enjoyed this retro review, hit that like button, leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to interact with you. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you. Thank you from Goku. And as always, have yourselves an awesome week.